Old multiverses, new multiverses. Now, without a keen, trained eye, you would think that there is no difference, but that's not the case. Now, despite the thumbnail, this is not supposed to be a slander video. We might have some moments though, so bear with me. Multiversus is still the fun verse-crossing platform fighter that we all know and many of us love. It's just that the 2024 relaunch of the game left us with some significant changes that are definitely worth noting. So let's talk about that. So I'm going to try to keep this video more on the surface, meaning that I'm not going to do a super heavy deep dive into all the characters, buffs and nerfs, changes, reworks, none of that. That's not what this video is about. This is mainly just going to be focusing on my own personal opinions and thoughts about the 2024 official launch versus the beta. So firstly, I want to talk about this. You can read everything up on the screen if you want better detail, but I'm really just going to talk about how they're showing, in their own words, a token of their appreciation to everyone that played the beta. And everything was accounted for. All of the things that we had in the beta carried over in some way, shape, or form in the official 2024 relaunch, which I really appreciate. And that's ultimately just good customer/fan service, but it's still something worth noting in my book. So the first thing you'll notice when you boot up the game, if you've played the beta, is that it's a lot slower. And I mean a lot slower. Like, the character movements come out a lot slower. The character moves around the map a lot slower. Everything is just a lot slower. Now, for whatever reason, this was an intentional change, but it surprisingly does not take that long to get used to. I thought that this was going to kill the game for me and make it a lot less fun, and I wasn't going to enjoy it anymore. But after just a few games, and I mean like 4 to 7, you really don't notice it anymore. So if you just see it through, give it a fair chance, try your best to adapt, you'll enjoy yourself after a while. Now, that's the first thing everybody's worried about, is the actual gameplay. But then once you go back to the lobby and you're chilling out a little bit, you'll realize that everything is different. When you boot up the game and you're in the lobby, it looks more like Fortnite now, which isn't a bad thing. Honestly, it's a pretty good look. But then there's also the change of the currencies, and just everything's different. There's a whole new shop. And one of their more targeted changes is that they wanted more specific currency for everything. There's perk currency that you use to buy characters, and then the gleamium that you use in the shop. Character tickets that you use specifically for characters, so on and so forth. Oh wait, stopping on that note, character tickets seem to be a quote-unquote vaulted feature. You only have character tickets if you had them as an MVP and you didn't use them. Other than that, it seems like character tickets are completely extinguished from the game. Speaking of things being extinguished from the game, it seems with the official launch of the game in 2024, we're missing some features that were important in the game that we had in the beta, such as being able to move people around in a custom game or after game stats. It's really little things, but noticeable things, especially when you're playing the game and realize, wait, where's this feature at? What happened to my in-game stats? Why can't I see anything? Why can't I move people around the custom game, you know? Luckily, it's just been announced that this is being looked into and those features will be returning. Now, something brand new to Multiversus is the rifts. The rifts being pretty much like the story mode feature in the game. And this isn't bad for the people that want to do it. However, the people that don't want to do it or don't care for it are going to have a tough time, because it's pretty much needed and necessary and mandatory to partake in these rifts to quite a deep extent. So I ranted about this for quite a bit on a live stream I did a couple days ago, and I'll link that below if you want to see it. That was a 30 to 45 minute rant, but I'll summarize it up for you all here. So basically, playing these rifts is one of the main keys to leveling up your battle pass, which is pretty much everyone's target at the end of the day. You want to make sure that you can max out your battle pass, especially if you paid for it. Luckily, the missions are fairly simple, but I'd be lying if I said they weren't time consuming. And well, having your time consumed to such a great extent on something that you really don't care for or don't really want to indulge in like that can be very, very annoying. My rant in the video was mainly about the battle pass and how you level up the battle pass. You don't level up the battle pass like you do in Fortnite or Apex or mainly any of the other battle pass games. Just as it was in the beta, you don't level up per game on your battle pass. It's per quest done, which, as you'd imagine, isn't exactly a problem until you finish all your damn quests. Then it's like, what now? I assume a lot of you are thinking, well, you just play until you tire of it. which you're right. You don't need to be earning something to play and just have fun. You don't need missions or quests to do to play the game. Correct. However, this takes me back to the rant that I was going on about. You can play the game infinitely until you tire of it. It's no necessity. Missions aren't mandatory to open the game, which is right. However, there's so much grinding involved with all of the rifts and the missions and the dailies or weeklies or whatever is going on that playing without earning feels lackluster. Now, this is just me personally. This is just my opinion. This is my own little rant or spat that I'm going on about. But the missions run out after a while. They reset daily. You get about 10 missions or so daily, and then you get a couple of them weekly as well. But after you do those, you're not earning anything anymore. Your battle pass isn't going up. It's capped after a while. You are capped daily to weekly on your battle pass. And that just feels like a slap on the wrist after a while. It just starts to sting because it feels like you should be earning a lot more than everybody else if you're playing a lot more than everybody else, right? But since you're capped and you run out of missions, it becomes lackluster. Ultimately, without running this rant on for too long, everyone is on the same level of play in the battle pass if they do all their missions. Regardless of how much you play, regardless of how more leveled up your characters are or anything of the sort, everyone is on the same level in the battle pass so long as they do their quests. So somebody that plays the game for an hour a day is on the same level as someone that played the game for 4 hours a day, just because they did all their missions, which doesn't exactly feel fair. Again, I'll leave the rant in the description if that's what you want to hear, but I also spoke in my recent stream, not the rant stream, justifying this because people would be leveling up a little bit too fast with how crazy some people are on the game. Imagine how many people would have the battle pass maxed out or very near maxed out and the game hasn't even been out a week. Those people would stop playing the game and then the numbers would drop again. But that's really all I have to say and really all I have to complain about. We're missing features. There's a lot of grinding that feels like a slap in the face after a while. And me personally, I would rather the game be faster like it used to be than slower how it currently is. Although I have adapted to the slowness or the new movement change in the game, I would prefer it be the way it used to be. Those are the only negatives I have to say about the game. Other than that, everything is great. Multiversus is amazing and I'm so glad to have it back. There's still a lot of bugs and things that need to be fixed in the game, of course. Jake can literally manually crash the game if he wants to, but I'm not going to count those because those are all to be fixed eventually. Although debatably they should have been fixed before the game even dropped. What were y'all away doing for an entire year if the game drops as buggy as it is? That's totally fine though. I mean, as long as they fixed it, I suppose. The rifts, I really wish I wasn't forced into playing it, but honestly, I don't mind them. They're pretty alright, and the little mini games and things that you get on the rifts are pretty enjoyable and actually very well done. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Give everything a shot and try your best to adapt, and you will enjoy yourself on the game. That's what I have to say. Ultimately, I'm enjoying the hell out of myself on the game, and I'm playing it every weekend. Well, every day for my missions, but every weekend I'll be streaming it for the next like month or so. It'll be pretty much strictly Multiversus, so come by and see your boy in the streams playing some Multiversus, man. Don't be shy, we have good times over there. Thank y'all for listening to my review here, and yeah, go enjoy Multiversus. I'm gonna get these clues though, gang.
I
Hey,
swear
watch that
this
missile, gang. Hey, watch that. Hey, watch that safe, bro.